Welcome to episode 28 or thereabouts of the Coffee, Yarn, and Dinosaurs podcast. My name is Ruth, and today we will be talking about crocheting, knitting, and spinning. I actually did some spinning. I'm so excited. There will probably also be a little bit of garden and running talk at the end of the episode. So stick around. I'll let you know when we're transitioning to those if you decide that you don't want to hear about the garden or the running. So, just to start off, I have not finished any projects. Surprise! If you are new here, I tend to have a very bad case of start-itis on a regular basis, which basically means I want to cast on all the projects, and I tend to cast on all the projects, but the finishing of them is much more rare. I'm working on it. There is actually going to be a mini episode going up of one of my Finish or Frog projects. I will show you very briefly, but all the details will be in that video. My Finish or Frog project for August is the Print of the Wave Stole by Uni Jang. All the details will be in that tiny video, and my hope is that as I have just recorded the introduction to that video, that I will be able to finish it and edit the finished shawl into that video, so you will get to see the before information and the finishing information, which would be awesome. The reason I am doing Finish or Frog projects is because one of my goals for 2020 is to finish all WIPs, all works in progress that were started prior to 2020. Because I am a serial starter, this is a big thing for me, and I only have about 4 of them left out of like 17. And at the beginning of 2020, I pared it down literally from like 32 projects down to that 17. I frogged a whole bunch of them leading up to New Year's. So this is a huge deal for me. To start off with, I have made progress on my husband's socks. Check these out. I hope this focuses. I'm trying a new setup this time, so hopefully this will be a little bit clearer for you guys, and we'll see. Okay, so this is obviously a toe-up sock, and this is my own pattern. It's almost ready to go to the tech editor, which means that hopefully it'll be published. Let's see, this is July. Hopefully it'll be published by the end of August. It is toe up with a heel flap and gusset. I'm not showing this very well. Let's see how I can do that. Oh yes, I'll stick my hand in the heel flap. Look at that gusset. There's a gorgeous, gorgeous heel flap and gusset. So there will be 3 sizes. I am knitting the largest size for my husband, and the yarn is Bumblebee Acres Coquette Sock. And that is a part merino, part Cormo, I think. You know what? I have a skein of it right behind me. I'm just gonna grab the skein so I can read to you. Okay. Bumblebee Acres Coquette Sock. Oh. It is 75% superwash Corriedale, 25% nylon. So there's no merino in these socks at all. Also, P.S. Look at this color. This is Alaskan Nights. And supposedly they only dye it like during the winter time. And I have 2 of these. And I have not yet used them because I really just love the colors so much that this is one of those yarn skeins that I just kind of like hold and pet, and one day I'll figure out what I want to do with it. But for right now, we just squish it and love it. So yes, so those socks, believe it or not, so I have it all the way up the leg. This is where I would normally stop the leg. Typically I do the leg until it's the same number of repeats as the foot, and then I'll start doing the cuff. But the husband has requested tall socks, and believe it or not, with that whole sock, I still have a little over 70 grams of this yarn left. So I think I'm gonna run with it until I have like 60 grams left. So that would be a 40-gram sock, and just some wiggle room just in case. And also I'm concerned that if I go too far up the calf, it'll get to the part where the calf starts widening, and so they would be too tight on his calf. And I don't want to have to do a calf gusset, which is the other option. And those are really cool. There's actually some really cool sock designs out there. I have wider calves, right? Like I can never knit myself knee socks because I go like, there is a beautiful, beautiful knee sock pattern that is from Knitty. It's called Clessidra, and it's from at least 10 years ago because I used to get my patterns almost exclusively from Knitty. And I tried to cast it on like 4 times, but it's a top-down knee sock, and the biggest size only goes to like 16 inches, and my calves are gigantic. I haven't measured them lately, but that's probably like at least 3 to 4 inches too small. It feels gigantic to me when knee sock patterns don't fit me. I'll put it that way. So, yeah, so I know to think about calf gussets is basically the moral of that tangent. And also I really kind of want to design knee socks from the toe up with an adjustable gusset so that I can actually knit myself knee socks. But they probably wouldn't be fingering weight. They would probably be more like DK weight, because if I tried to knit a fingering weight knee sock, I would just never get it done. Like it just would not happen. So that's my sock tangent. What else have I been working on? Oh, this should be fun. This I did not start. You can hear the hook clanking. This I had not started the last episode. This is a baby blanket gift. This pattern is called the 6-Day Star Blanket. I will put the designer's name in here. I think it's like Beth McKnitty or something like that. It's a free on blog pattern. And if you've heard of this, if you crochet, you've probably seen the 6-Day Kid Blanket. It's like a chevron with this, like the alternating granny and solid stripes. And so the same designer put it into a 8-point star. I'm gonna back up just a little bit so you can see it. I really, really like it. It is designed for the Lion Brand Mandala. I can't remember if Mandala is the Lion Brand one or not. Yeah, it is. It's designed for Lion Brand Mandala cakes, so like the self-striping, self-changing, but I found that I am a little bit too much of a control freak to let the colors change by themselves. So this is just some stash acrylic yarn, and I am changing, let's see. So on the red, I went up to set up round 8 and then set up round 9 through round 6 for this. And then I'm changing colors on round 2. So that's the single crochet row at the end of the repeat is where I'm starting the next color. And I am really, really pleased with this. So I am going to do this all the way out for the full rainbow because it is a friend who is expecting a rainbow baby, which is a child after a loss. And she specifically requested a rainbow blanket. I don't think she's watching this. I don't think she watches my podcast. I'm pretty sure. Amanda, I'm really, really sorry if you see this and it's your blanket. My bad. But I'm really, really happy. And this is like 2 days worth of progress because this is Aran weight yarn and a K-hook, which is 6.5 millimeters. So it's just, it flies. It's so fast. 6-Day Kid Blanket. And also I will totally make more of these because this is like 2 days worth of work, and look how big it is. Like you could feasibly give this as a baby gift, which means that you could do a baby gift in 2 days. I spend like 3 months on blankets, guys. Why do I? Because I want them to be special. I spend 3 months because I want them to be special. And of course I pick the most intricate patterns out there. And I went through like 14 patterns before I settled on this one because I just couldn't decide. And I want baby blanket gifts to be very special when I give them to people. But I have realized that, to be a little cliche, perfection is the enemy of progress, right? So if I am spending all my time looking for the perfect blanket for her, I will never get it done. And she's due in October. And I have another friend who's expecting twins at the end of December. So I need to make a bunch of baby blankets, and I don't necessarily have that much time to do it, but I still want it to be special. So other friend will probably also be getting this pattern in different color schemes. So, ta-da! I'm debating grabbing a couple of the mandala cakes for the friend who's expecting twins and seeing if I can function and just let it happen. I also saw that there's a new, I think it's Karen Cakes, is like Karen Skinny Cakes or something. So it's DK weight, but it's still a cake yarn. Either way, we'll see. We'll see what happens. You will probably be seeing a couple of those star blankets on here just because they're gonna need to be done. Next project. Gotta pull this out. I don't know why I am making so many blankets this year. It's like the summer of blankets, and why I'm making all these blankets over the summer, God only knows. But this is progress on my arcade waffle blanket. I'm gonna hold it in front of my face so the camera will see it. So this, the last time, I should put stitch markers on, but I don't because of me. The last time I was done maybe about from here to here. So this is probably just about doubled in size since you guys last saw it in a week and a half. But the size is getting pretty good. And the pattern has a set number of rows because you need to have the right number of rows to accommodate the border stitches. And I think I'm about 2/3 of the way there. So the pattern, I will link it again. It's free on a blog. I think it's like 78 rows of this waffle stitch. And I'm using Loops and Threads cream, ooh, a little lower. Loops and Threads cream cotton. And this colorway is just called Navy. So I'm doing that, and I'm using a J hook. So it still has some weight to it because it's the waffle, but it's also really drapey. Like you can see it kind of moves really nicely, like it you know, like the bounce and whatever. So yeah, hopefully my goal for this is to have the body of this done, like to be ready for the border by the time I do the next podcast, or maybe even have the first round or two of the border done. Be awesome. The last thing that I've been working on is I've actually been doing a little bit of spinning, which is super exciting. I have not had a drop spindle for a while because my boys used them to sword fight. And that's the truth of it. My spindles got broken because they were sword fighting with them. So I ordered a couple of spindles from Snyder Spindles on Etsy, who I have heard of before, and I've heard really, really good things. So I decided to give them a try. And this is the first one. It's pretty cool looking, huh? It's got that really neat, like, gear look to it. And this is a, let's see on the bottom. He marks them on the bottom. It's so nice. This is a 34-gram spindle, which is 1.2 ounces. And he has this labeled as medium weight. And I don't know a whole heck of a lot about drop spindles, but I know if they're too heavy, you can't spin thin yarn because the weight will like break the yarn. And if they're too light, I think they won't spin for very long, is the deal. So I actually really, really like, I'll show you the one that I'm working on. I got two, just in case, because you never know. So this is the one that I'm working on. It looks like a gear, which I really, really love. And I want to show you, look at these singles. I'm going to do the oops, I just dropped the braid off of it. That's okay, we can rejoin. I'm going to do the podcaster thing and stick my hand behind so you can see it. Look at the singles on that. They're so fine. This thing spins amazingly. He put a note in the listing, and that's really what sold me. And the note said that these are hand turn. He wood turns these. And the reason he cuts out the inside of them is because when the weight of the spindle is around the outside, it spins for longer and it spins smoother. And also cutting out the inside takes out some of the weight. So you can have that nice big whirl without having the solidness in there, and the weight all goes to the outside, so it spins really well. I will see if I can insert a video of me spinning on this because it is just fantastic and I'm really, really enjoying it. This, I'm getting like lace weight singles. So my hope and my plan is that I can end ply these on my wheel and I might actually get sock yarn. I have been wanting to spin my own sock yarn for so long. And I think I think this might be the spin. I think I might have it. And the funny thing is, I am spinning this green braid, and I have 2 of them, and I have no idea what the fiber is, because this was a gift from a friend. Actually the friend I'm making a baby blanket for. So thank you, Amanda. Her sister-in-law stopped spinning yarn. She doesn't spin anymore. And so my friend wanted these to go to somebody who would actually spin them, you know, somebody who would actually enjoy them. And I was like, wow, thank you so much. I will take them. Yes, I do like to spin yarn. So these are, when they came in just like a gallon Ziploc bag. And I thought at first that maybe they were like a Polworth. I didn't think they were that soft just by looking at them. And then I opened it up, and it's definitely softer than it looks, but it's not merino, or it's not fully merino, because it's not quite that soft. So I'm thinking it's also a little tiny bit shiny, and it's also a little tiny bit grippy. Like I'm just dropping this thing all over the place. There we go. We'll do that because that's how I spin. If you look at it, if you look at the fibers, it's got a little bit of like stickiness to it. When I pull it out to draft it, it's got a little bit of stickiness. Like merino will slide really easily. Silk either sticks or slides. There's like none of this grippiness in between. So I'm thinking this is either a merino, it might be like merino Polworth blend. It might be a breed that I don't know of, but whatever it is, I really enjoy it because it's very soft, but it's grippy enough that I can spin really fine singles. And the only other time I've been able to do that, I think it was either with Corriedale, Cormo, or Polworth. No, Rambouillet. It was either Polworth or Rambouillet, one of those like really fluffy fibers. So I'm very excited for this. There might be sock yarn in my future. Very far in my future, because I'm spinning lace weight singles on a 4-ounce braid, and then we're gonna chain ply it. So, you know, you might see sock yarn like next year, but I'm spinning sock yarn, even if it turns out to be sport weight sock yarn. Yay. So that is all I have for the fiber content, but I would love to share with you guys a little bit. I've been running, guys. So in an effort to be a little bit healthier, because how can I explain this? I do want to lose weight. It's not necessarily I need to be skinny thing, but I like how my body feels at a certain size. And this is not it. So in an effort to be A, healthier, B, able to keep up with my kids, because oh my gosh, I have the most energetic almost 7-year-old, 4.5-year-old, and 2.5-year-old ever created. They're just so much energy, it's ridiculous. So I want to be able to keep up with them. I would like for my body to not hurt. And I like it when I feel strong, if that makes sense. So I have been running, I have been doing some like body weight strengthening video type stuff on the days that I'm not running. And I'm really pleased with my progress. I have gone from, I think like 2 months ago, I was struggling to do a 16-minute mile, and I've gotten down to averaging a 13-minute mile. And the last time I went out on a long run, I did a 4-mile run, and my last mile was like an 11-minute mile on the last mile. What? So it's awesome. It's really nice to see tangible progress, and I can feel myself able to go for longer. Like I can run for longer. I can, I don't know how to explain it. I don't feel like I'm dying anymore. Like that when you haven't run for a long time and you start running and you're like, why am I dying? I don't get that as often. or I only get that on like the 4-mile runs where I'm halfway through the run and I'm like, I wish I could turn around and go back, but this is a 4-mile loop and there is no going back. I have to finish what I'm doing, which is basically hiking up hills and running down them because I'm in central Pennsylvania and it's very hilly out here. So that is where I'm at running wise, and I'm very excited. I've been not athletically active for a very long time, and so it's nice to be able to getting back. I used to run in high school and junior high and I really loved it, and it's nice to be able to get back into enjoying and doing well at physical activity. Also, garden update. Guys, I don't have a fancy garden like you see on, you know, YouTube or Instagram, people that are like, behold my beautiful lush garden where all of my plants grow wonderfully and I will just harvest bushels and bushels and bushels of vegetables. Yeah, I don't have that because I am not the world's most excellent gardener, but I do have a monster spaghetti squash, just one, but it's a beast, and another little tiny one that's coming up. So I'm gonna put a little bit of footage in, I think, of the spaghetti squash. And if you guys are on Instagram, you're like, Ruth, enough with the squash already. But I'm so excited, stuff is growing. So this is the extent of things being grown well in the garden. Look at this freaking spaghetti squash. It's so big. I love it. It's starting to change colors, so it'll probably be ready to harvest soon. But like a week ago, it was this size. So these things are growing really super fast. I don't know what that is. Looks like almost like claw marks. Looks like something's getting at it. I hope nothing eats my squash. But yeah, we have it up on tomato cages. So this vine is going all the way up and all the way over. And I spent some time outside today replanting my one side garden. Didn't really grow at all. It like 2 summer squash plants grew, but everything else we planted there didn't grow because it was too shady. And then the landlord came and chopped down both of the shade trees because whatever. And so now I spent some time out there and I replanted just the squash. Some of the squash that grew this year, I took the seeds. I don't know if you can do that. I don't know if that's how it works. I don't know if you like have to dry them out first or if I can immediately just go chuck them back into my garden, like till it up again, chuck them in, and ta-da. We'll find out. Gardening adventures with Ruth, who does not know anything about gardening. Yeah, so that's where we're at right now. The other adventure we're on right now, as I'm sure most of you are, is trying to figure out whether we're going to do virtual schooling or homeschooling or what for my first grader next year. He'll be in first grade. We've decided that we're not going to send him back to in-person schooling right away. And that's not a judgment on anybody who does send their kid back to in-person schooling. It's a tough decision either way, you guys. Like, any way you slice it, no matter what decision you make, it's a hard decision to make. We've decided not to send him back to in-person schooling right away. So now I'm basically just deciding his school is offering virtual classes. So I have to decide whether I want to do that or whether I don't feel that that's worth it and I just want to full-on homeschool. So I do feel like I could homeschool because I was homeschooled K to 12. So, or not K to 12, K to 7, and then 8 to 12 I went to school. So I do have an idea of what it entails, and I think I could do it. I just don't know whether I want to do the homeschooling or the virtual schooling. So, you know, we'll see. Things could get interesting. But that's about all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more, go ahead and click the subscribe. You don't have to subscribe. You don't have to like it. It just helps my videos get shown to more people, which I appreciate because the more, like, it's encouraging. If I see that more people are seeing it or more people like it or whatever, it encourages me to put out more content, basically. And it helps share my designs and my projects with people. So thanks for watching, you guys. I'll see you later. Bye.